What is going on, guys? We are back playing some more Surviving with Mekanism. And today, guys, we're going to be messing around with the biogenerator, which is going to consume biofuel to generate power for us. Now, biofuel can be easily produced by throwing pretty much any plant-like substance available into a crusher, and it'll produce a varying amount of biofuel. It can go anywhere from, I want to say, 1 to 6. It might be 2 to 6, but we're going to look into that in a little bit. Now, the main thing that I'm going to be using to produce biofuel is going to be sugarcane, but there are a lot of options, pretty much any seeds, any saplings, melons, apples. Let's scroll over. You can do carrots and wheat. You can even do bread, pumpkins, potatoes, and then sugarcane. So sugarcane gets us 2. It's not that fancy. I do have plans later for making a mob farm and then using rotten flesh for it. But for now, we're going to do a sugarcane farm that goes into a crusher, and then that is going to go into the biogenerator. Now, there are a couple things I want to talk about before we jump into crafting, and I'm not going to spend too long on them, so we will get into that in a second. But as you guys can probably tell, we are no longer stuck outside. We have a little bit of a base going here. I actually really like the way it turned out, and this is by no means the finished product. This is just a rough thing I threw together. I've been thinking about some base ideas for a while before we even jumped into the series, and I wanted to do kind of like an overgrown factory, just because we now have the factory blocks that are offered by Chisel, and it was a little disappointing that I couldn't get the carpenter's blocks to work, but I'm just still going to look into that. I just don't think there's any, updated version of it that can work with 1.10.2. I tried it and it didn't, so a little disappointing. But yeah, if we go outside, this is the part that I think is the coolest. We have some coarse dirt on the ground, got some leaves that I sheared, put those around the entrance. Eventually I'll have some vines there, and it kind of reminds me almost of like the hatches that they went into in Lost. So yeah, we're basically the Dharma Initiative now. But yeah, moved everything inside, should be good to go. And we're going to be setting up the power generation back here today. So this is where all the wires and everything are going to go. It looks a lot worse back here, but this is just going to be for wiring power and everything around. So now that we've covered that, we can get into the crafting. There's actually not that much crafting that needs to be done today. A lot of the stuff we're going to be using is either just regular blocks offered by vanilla Minecraft, in which case I'm not going to craft them on camera, that are going to be used for the buds updating pretty much setup for the sugarcane farm. I've done it a lot before. Mumbo's done it a lot before too. But the rest of the stuff is just going to be for an energy cube, which we can craft first. It's going to be the lowest tier. I just want a little bit of a buffer. So we're going to do basic energy cube. We're going to craft it using iron instead of osmium, because we can also use the redstone. Oh, you know what am I talking about? This is the advanced energy cube. But yeah, we're going to be crafting it. It takes 4 redstone, 2 energy tablets, steel casing, and 2 iron. Not very expensive, so we can get that. And then we're going to go into crafting the crusher, which we've already done before, but I just thought we'd do it again really quick. So this again takes the lava buckets, and I'm actually going to need those buckets, so it's nice that we get them back. That's what I'm going to use to get our water for today. And lastly, we're going to need to make the biogenerator itself. So we're actually only going to have 1 crusher and 1 biogenerator, and I am going to add upgrades to the crusher, but we only have energy upgrades for that. I have 8 of them right here, just because I'm not too worried about the speed right now. I will expand upon this later, but for now, I'm just going to be setting up 2 different sides of the sugarcane farm that will come into 1 water stream, collect at a hopper, which will throw them into the logistical transporter, and then that will go over to the crusher. So we can grab everything else out of here, and what am I doing? We need to, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting what the, oh, there we go, okay. Click everything out. I always forget to use that, even though I was told like maybe 5 episodes ago that I should do that, the control space and then left click on stuff to get it. But yeah, I really like the base. I know I already pointed that out, but I think it goes along quite well with Mekanism. And now we can head back and start working on this. So I have this set up right here. It's just long enough that the water streams should collect right here. And we can throw a hopper down right here just so that they collect. And we can actually move the water over. We don't need to move it over right now, but then I guess I can clear this out too and throw down the tubes. So we can throw down the logistical transporters right here. We can connect the hopper. And then the nice thing that we can do is right now, if we were to throw stuff in there, it wouldn't actually come out. But if we grab the configurator, we can shift right click. Oh, no, wait, we don't want to do that. What am I saying? We can, oh wait, you know what? I need to change the settings on this. Shift M, then shift right click, and change this to pull. So pretty much now it's going to pull from the hopper. The only reason I have a hopper right here is because I want them to pretty much just get collected from the water streams when they land on top of this. You could pull from any chest or anything like that and it'd be no issue, but there is really no point of me doing a hopper and then doing a chest next to it, because this should be a big enough internal buffer, at least for the time being. And then we'll set it to go straight to the crusher over here. And the only reason it's important that we do the push and pull on these is because if I eventually make a bunch of layers on this, I don't want it to get a little confused as to where it's going to go. So it just makes things easier if we were to have a junction right here, that it wouldn't backtrack into the hopper and try and go in there. But yeah, we don't really need to worry about that. And I need to switch this back to wrench for now. So there we go. Get that out of there. And we can start setting up the farm. So like I've said, we set this up a lot of times before. I've done sugarcane farms a ton in the past, but I always like to do it on camera just in case anyone's new. And I know in the video where Mumbo talks about this, at least, he actually doesn't, at least as far as I've seen, he doesn't actually make a video on this. He thought he did, but I don't think he has. So yeah, I like to do this on camera. So we do need to grab some water, run the stream in the front, and there we go. For some reason, something that I've noticed recently is I get frame drops just randomly when I place certain blocks. Like when I placed that water down or when I grabbed it, I got really big frame drops. And then I run perfectly fine when I'm not doing that, or when gravel is moving. I don't know if that's with Minecraft 1.10.2 or something, but if you guys know anything about that, please feel free to let me know, because it's bothering me a ton. And it makes for bad quality videos too, which I hate. I don't know what it is, if it's like certain things that cause extended updates, so when this water extends, it drops the FPS until it stops, stuff like that. But yeah, I'd like to know what's up with that. So yep, we can fill that up right there, and then we can start throwing the pistons down. Now this is kind of going to go into the wall, and I do want to put some cobblestone down below this right here. Nothing's going to be going here, but this is where the pistons are going to rest. So we can put 8 of them out like this, and then we're going to have to come over here. We're going to throw down the furnace right on top of this piston right here. And then we're kind of going to dig into the wall over here. And it's not going to take up that much room. It's actually kind of going to be annoying to get the redstone lined on top of here. But we're going to throw down a piston right over here, and it's going to be facing up. So we can come up here. Got to have the piston facing up. And then we throw down 1 piece of sand on top of that. And then we can come over here. And I'll worry about filling all this in later, but we can throw down a redstone comparator facing that way. And then we can take and throw a little bit of cobblestone in here. And we can come up here and put down just some plain redstone and start extending this from here. And then throw down a redstone repeater right there just to make sure we got a good signal coming out of this. And then we can extend it along here. And that should make all the pistons bud activated. So when any of the reeds grow, they should all trigger and pretty much just harvest the reeds for us. Now, one bad portion of this is just that with this setup, it can actually glitch out if something grows really quick. And let me see how far off we are. So it's going to be 9 from here. So let's just extend this, and then we can test it out. It's going to take 2 more. Yes, like that. But what I was saying is the only downside with this is if sugarcane grows really quickly after one's harvested and this hasn't reset yet, it actually won't harvest it. It won't register the update. But the nice thing is then once the next piece of sugarcane grows, then it'll register it and it'll harvest both. So the easy way to test this out would just to be throwing down 1 piece of sugarcane right on here, and it pushes it out into the water stream. I'm going to put glass down on this side instead of making a second layer over here, but goes right into the hopper. And then if we were to attach the crusher over here, which I'm going to do either on the wall or right down here, then it would go straight into the crusher, which would output 2 of the biofuel into the biogenerator. And I guess I can fill this in. I don't really need to worry about it that much. I don't think things are going to spawn up here if I just throw down a little bit of light in case we ever need to come up here again. And then we can just kind of fill this in over here. We need to leave this space right here for that to go up. And I need to get out of here too. Okay, so there we go. That should be fine. Oh, there we go. There was the update for that one. Okay, and then I'm just going to test it one more time just to make sure we didn't mess anything up in here. So let me see if I can show you guys what I was talking about. Okay, yeah, so there's what I was talking about. But then when the second one grows, it'll harvest that. And this can lose a little bit of sugarcane. It's not the most effective one. It can land on certain blocks and not go into the water stream. But we're going to try and minimize that happening by putting the glass down in front of this. So we can do that right here, and I actually want to chisel this so it'll look a little bit nicer. So right now I have the diamond chisel. Get this out, and let's see what glass we want. I'm a fan of the stone framed glass right here, just because I like the kind of the darker frame. There are a lot of options. The gray bordered glass isn't bad. Yeah, I like the stone framed glass. So we can grab out all of those, and we can just throw them right along here. And I want to make sure these have enough light, so I gotta make sure we got torches down with them too. We can throw a torch there, and we can throw a torch there for the update. But we can throw the glass down here, and that should minimize the amount of sugarcane that will land on an incorrect block. Oh, darn it. Okay. Oh, that's right, we get it back. That's right. Okay, so now the next one is going to be going over here. It's going to be the same thing, and I want to test my theory about the water. Maybe it's just something weird with one of the mods. I have like one of the BetterFps mods installed, or one of those that functions with 1.10.2. And okay, so you see, we got the drop there. I'm going to put this water back, and then we're going to watch the drop, okay? I'm looking at my DxTory right now, and it's reading 30 FPS across the board. We grab that, boom, goes down to 20, and then goes back up once the water's filled in. And I guess that's really good then, that this water pump does not actually consume the water block itself, or else that would kill my FPS. But then we're going to place down, I'll put down the dirt first, and then we're going to place down the water again, and we're going to watch it happen, because it's going to happen, I know it. So I'll look around so you guys can see it when it happens. Oh, it drops the FPS. Yep, there we go. Okay, so that's really annoying, just because it makes for a worse quality video for you guys, and I really feel bad about that. I try and have high quality videos, and that kind of defeats the purpose of that, but I'll try and figure that out off camera. I didn't realize it would happen that bad. I thought it might drop it a little bit, but when I'm recording, it makes it significantly worse. So we can throw down the pistons again, right along here. And I will end up putting a block in the center, again, just so that nothing lands by chance there. And we need to get out our furnace, which goes right there. And then we got to make our way up here. We can break that. Where did I put it on this side? Right up here. The glass is going to go down on this side. I might as well throw this down and get the torch situated. So that can go there. And now we got to come up here. Gotta do the piston with the sand block and the comparator, and then we should be good to run the redstone. I'm actually going to connect the two, just like a walkway up there, so I don't need to go into each side individually. Not actually connect the redstone, but I'm going to connect the actual pathway up there. So comparator right there, and then redstone along here, repeater right there, and gotta throw that in there, and we should be good to hop on up here. Oh gosh, that breaks it so fast. I forgot. Okay, so we'll kind of fill that in, and this should match. We'll know when we've gone far enough, because it's going to connect the whole way over here. Okay, so there should be a 1 block gap in the center, and that should be 9 blocks right there. So again, we can come down here. I'm going to fill this in, and then we can test that it works. That needs to be left open. And there's the update. And I guess we can test it. Oh, that's right, the glass is there. Darn it. Okay, I guess we can test it like this. The very end block. Okay. So there we go. Should be good. And now I'm going to fill in this glass right here. And this should allow us to get a little bit of power generation. I think what I'm actually going to do with the first little bit of sugarcane that I get is not actually put that into the crusher. I'm going to show you guys how it works, verify that the system will actually work. Then I'm going to disconnect it and save a lot of the sugarcane, just so I can layer a bunch of these below this, probably for the most part, just because we don't have that much room above us. And then I can just easily connect them using the logistical transporters and hook them back up here. So we can grab the crusher, and I haven't decided again exactly where I want to put this. I guess we can put it like right here, right below our feet. I guess it can go right here, honestly. So this is going to be the input from the bottom. We're going to want auto eject to be on, and the output is going to be out the front. Oh, actually, do we want it at the front or at the top? Maybe we want it at the top. Okay, we'll put it at the top. So it'll go out at the top of the crusher, and I should throw the upgrades in here. And that's going to go to the biogenerator, which is hopefully going to be able to have input in the bottom of this. I don't know if it has a specific side. And then the energy is going to come out of here. So hopefully that works. I guess if we really wanted to test it, we could just break that sugar cane right there. We could grab that, throw it in the water stream. It'll go into the hopper, should go into there. And all we have to do is hook up power to this, which I can pretty much run a loop and connect it to the system. And then once this starts running, it'll power itself. And on top of that, it'll also go into the energy cube and should be good. And then it'll go up here, and this should generate a good amount of power eventually. Okay, so here's where our power ends right now. I usually run it along the top so we can take our universal cable. Hopefully I have enough. And this is another one that gives me lag when I place it. It's really weird. I don't know. I will have to look into that. But we're going to have the energy cube down here. And I kind of want to keep it... I guess we can bring it up. So the energy cube can go up here. And obviously energy cubes have input on 5 sides and then output on 1. So... we got to flip it around with this. I'm going to have to change the mode. I guess it doesn't need to be on rotate. It'll be... There we go. And we should be able to input the power there and output it from there. So, yeah, so it's outputting on the front. I assume that's the front. We can change that though, right? Yeah, okay, so we can change that if we really wanted to. It's auto set to only having 1 output, but we can change that. And then all we have to do to get this running is kind of fiddle around with this a little bit. And if we come down here and connect this with universal cable to this over here, it should start enough to kind of jumpstart it, and we can verify that it works. I actually am going to have to break one of these. So change that to wrench that out, and throw it down right there. Oh, I need to wrench 2 of them. Gosh, okay. So there we go, and that one can go right there. So this should be running. Okay. And we'll just have to funnel the power back around to itself. And that'll go, it should put, whoops. It should put 2 into here. And you can see it gets a significant amount of biofuel. It generates a good amount of power from that. And it's filling up its internal buffer just because it can't connect to here. But once we get rid of this cable, we can run it back around and we should be good to go. So we can get rid of all of this right here. We can leave this right here, and we should be able to connect it like that to power itself. And then we can get rid of the rest of this and connect it to the energy cube. So right like that. So it should have a decent internal buffer right now. The energy cube is nothing special, the basic one. I want to say it has 2 millijoules. Let's look. Basic energy cube. Where is it? Right here, yeah. So 2 millijoules. Should be good on that one. But yeah, this is actually really effective once we get this farm expanded upon. And yeah, that's going to be it for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you found it entertaining or informative in any way, please feel free to give it a like, as it does help me out a lot. And I do want to apologize for the random FPS drops. I'm doing my best to figure it out. You guys would probably know better, though, because a lot of you might have played with 1.10.2 a lot more than I have. But I promise I will figure it out before next episode, and it will be a non-issue. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will talk to you later.